Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Computer Man. And on today's episode, I will be talking about the September 7th WWDC, where Apple released the new Apple Watch Series 2, iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, Mac OS Sierra, iOS 10, Watch OS 3, Apple new AirPods, and other accessories that were announced at the keynote. To begin, we're going to take a look at the iPhone 7, and as you can see on the screen, it says iPhone, this is 7. So the new iPhone 7 is the most fastest iPhone, and as of now, the most fastest phone in the world right now, hands down. So what is behind the iPhone 7 that makes it better than the previous generation iPhones? With this new iPhone, now you get two speakers, a dual speaker. You get the new A10 Fusion chip, better battery life, of course. You get a higher end LCD display. You get water resistance up to 30 meters, I believe, which is splash and water resistant. And a new color called jet black and matte black, as well as reduction of antenna lines. So let's take a look at the design. So the pictures show a matte black iPhone in the center. On the left corner, a iPhone 7 in silver. On the opposite side, on the bottom right, a gold iPhone 7 and a rose gold iPhone 7 to the left of that. And at the bottom, mirroring the iPhone 7 Plus in matte black, we have the new jet black iPhone 7 Plus. And of course, they come in, matte black and jet black, splash and water resistance, and there's a new home button. So we're going to take a look at the design, and with the design, iPhone 7 reaches a new level of innovation and precision, of course, and their new jet black finish is a darker, glossier black. It's like it says, it's a high gloss jet black, and they offer it in both the 4.7 inch and the 5.7 inch models. The only caveat with the jet black is, well, two caveats, I mean, is the storage size you have to get them is 128 or 256. And the other caveat is that it scratches and it gets fingerprints like crazy. And they call it micro abrasion, so very little scratching, but it shows up after time. Just want to point that out to you guys now. And of course, they're made with the same 7000 series aluminum, which was featured on the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus back in 2015. And here's a picture showing you the new look of the iPhone 7 that has the rose gold color, and there's the antenna line goes around the camera, and the cutout that used to go underneath it doesn't go there no more, so they cut that out. And here's the 7 Plus with the dual lens cameras in the silver configuration. Here's a 7 in gold, a matte black 7 Plus, and the new high glossy jet black iPhone 7 Plus. And it says the gold standard of black, so the matte black is crafted from bead blasted aluminum. So, like it says, it takes little pieces of aluminum that's color coded already and shoots it onto the aluminum, and it gives you that anodized feeling that you get with the Macs. With the Macs, basically, the anodized look and feel of the Apple laptops. And for the high glossy jet black, they had to do a new design engineering, and it's a 9-step process of anodization and polishing. So pretty much the polish, like it says, you can't really tell where the glass of the screen begins to the back of the device, because it mirrors together perfectly. And here's a picture of the jet black 7 Plus on the left, and you can see how the screen on that a little bit, but then it fades right into that nice jet black. And the matte black 7 on the right that has a nice anodized look, like you see on a MacBook, pretty much. Very nice. Both colors are perfect to get. Always get a case for any iPhone, regardless of what color. And this is the first iPhone, like most of you guys already know, is the first one to have water resistant built in. So you can spill it, splash it, and even dust. I just want to point out a lot of people have gone swimming with the phone, put it in hot water, hot tea, hot coffee even, and this phone survived. So it goes beyond what Apple is rating it to be. Very excellent of them to make it go beyond what they're saying it should be able to handle. Very nice that Apple has did that. And the all new home button, as you guys may or may not know, it looks the same, but instead of it clicking down like it has on every iPhone in the past, now it uses the new Taptic engine, and the home button is solid state, so it stays in one place. And reasons why they did this was they can remove another sensor, and the home buttons, after a while, when you click it, they tend to break. And for Apple to achieve, of course, the water resistance, they had to remove that feature because water can get in through the home button. That's one more place, of course, water can get into. So with this new home button, we're getting closer to a iPhone, probably iPhone 8, the next year, 10th anniversary one. It's probably going to have it built into the display. So this is getting ready to get rid of that home button. And it shows you a diagram of it screwed into the housing of the phone and the new Taptic engine that it uses to give you the feedback of it actually moving, to give the simulate movement, basically. And of course it still has Touch ID, obviously, and it still uses Touch ID second generation. It doesn't have a third generation. If it did, they would have obviously put that in their description, but it's still second generation. And Apple Pay is now, you can use it on the web, and it's been updated to basically the web features, and that's it with Apple Pay. Just little improvements. And the iPhone 7 cameras is now better. The iPhone 7 now has, of course, the same 12 megapixels. Now, the 7, the reason why you see that bigger camera hump is because it has optical image stabilization built in. So now, just like in the past where you had to buy the Plus model to get that special feature, now it's built onto the 4.7-inch model. So pretty much what that does, move the camera around while taking videos, it will stabilize it by moving the camera. And it has digital stabilization built in too, in the software. And the front of the cameras have been upgraded from 5 megapixels to 7, which is great for people that love FaceTime, that do that on the daily. People that Snapchat or selfies and all that other stuff people do nowadays. And of course, with the True Tone flash, they upgraded to a quad LED. So there's 2 white lights at the top, and on the bottom is 2 amber lights to give it more depth of field, more realism to the picture, and it helps block out noise and just get you what you need right away in that shot. And of course, the cameras, they went to a 1.8 aperture and a 6-element lens, so of course better low light video and pictures, and live photos will be better and things like that. So here's a nice diagram of the camera. You can see the 6-element lens as well as the new Apple image sensor chip in the back there, which is very nice how they built that in together. So optical image stabilization comes with the 7 and 7 Plus, and the new apertures and the quad LED flash built in. So of course it's going to be better than the 6S or any other iPhone before that. And here's some pictures that Apple demoed, and you can see the differences in the low light conditions. And here are movies that are videos, I mean, shot on your iPhone 7 that look like real movies, of course. You can shoot them in 4K with a 12 megapixel camera. It's pretty much the same camera as last year, just a little bit of improvement. It's using a Sony sensor that the Samsung phones uses, so it's pretty much like the same thing. And the new 7 megapixel front camera for the selfies and everything like that. And Retina flash has been upgraded for more ambient shots and natural looking skin tone shots too. And of course, the smart ISP, the image signaling processor, has been built into the A10 Fusion chip, so it can do over 100 billion operations and even use machine learning to make your images look amazing. So it's pretty much, once you take that picture, it stabilizes it, does all the things right away. And it's important to have this because the 7 Plus has that bokeh effect, which is not coming until iOS 10.1, which betas are already released for that, so that's why they need the new image signaling processor for stuff like that too. And here's a nice diagram of the signaling chip that routes to the camera. And photos on iOS 10, how it organizes it now. And here's the big camera, the one that people would love to get. The 7 Plus, it's 12 megapixels and it has the wide angle and the telephoto lens. And it has optical zoom at 2 times and digital zoom up to 10. So that's awesome. So let's take a look at this. So the iPhone 7 Plus has 2 entirely new cameras, and you can get higher quality, higher depth of field, and a bokeh effect, which of course it says it's coming later in a software update. And you can zoom out further, so you can just tap the little 2x and it punches you further out into the shot. And it says 1x, and then if you click it, or should automatically cycle through it, but it would jump into other zooms. And here's pictures on the 7 Plus. Zoom in and zoom out. So it's very nice how it gets the depth of field in all these pictures that do show up on my computer. And the depth of field effect is coming soon. So it allows you to blur the background out and give it a nice bokeh effect like I was explaining earlier. And it's like a DSLR feature, but now instead of what Apple was saying, instead of like when DSLRs take a picture, it has to process it in the background, it shows it to you live on the iPhone 7 Plus, and then you take your shot. So you can see in this picture, it brings the woman closer in the shot, and it crops the back out into this nice, cool, translucent look to it. And the display is obviously a Retina HD display. It has more colors than the previous generations, of course. It has a new wide color gamut, a 25% brighter display, and 3D Touch has been updated somewhat. So it has a very accurate color gamut. It has P3 spec color gamut. And with the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, unfortunately, the resolution has stayed the same. So 4.7-inch model has the same 1334 by 750 and 1920 by 1080 on the 5.5-inch model, which the resolutions have been the same since the iPhone 6, but now it has the P3 spec and wider color gamut with it. And 3D Touch is now, they made it more handier in iOS 10. Made it more user-friendly pretty much. And here's the new A10 Fusion chip. So earlier models, since the Apple A4 chip, they would always say A4, A5, A6, A7, and so on and so forth. But now, instead of saying just that, now they call it the A10 Fusion chip. And because they call it the Fusion chip is because because it has 4 cores in it, 4 processors, 2 high-intensity ones and 2 low-intensity cores. And of course, it's 2 times faster than the iPhone 6. And like always, it's been advertised to have a longer battery life ever in an iPhone. Of course, if you're upgrading from an older phone to this, obviously. And the Fusion chip, we'll take a deep look into that. And with that, it's a all new processor from the ground up. It's using the 10 nanometer construction, I believe. And with that, you get 2 high performance cores, like I said, and 2 low power performance cores. And that's what the chip looks like. And of course, it has the speeds of the iPhone 7, 6S, 6 and 6, and it's 2 times faster than the 6, and it's just a little bit more than the iPhone 6S. Same thing with the graphics speed as well. And now the storage for the iPhone, finally, they upgraded all the lines of the iPhones, besides the SE, to start with 32 gigs, 128, and 256. So that's a lovely thing Apple finally did. They finally caught up with the times and gave us more storage for the price for the iPhones. And here is the new dual speakers, which at the bottom there's one speaker, and at the top there's another one that plays out of the earpiece. And it's 2 times louder than the 6S, and that is true. It is outstandingly loud. And it comes with earpods with the lightning connector and AirPods, which you can buy separately. So with the dual speakers, you get wider audio, nice sound to it, nice bass. And Apple did this as well to make up for the loss of the headphone jack. And the place where the headphone jack is removed from, it's basically a piece of plastic inside that's used for the barometer to help it with barometric pressure and stuff, which I see as being important, but at the same time, they could have put a second lightning port there, to be honest. So if you're using the main one for headphones, you can still charge it, even though it's just mirroring the other side to make it look like there's 2 speakers at the bottom when there's really not. So that's what I feel they should have done. Put 2 lightning ports instead of a piece of plastic and then copying the holes on the right side to the left. But in the box, at least you get a Lightning to 3.5mm headphone jack and the Lightning earpods. And their new AirPods, my bad, their new AirPods come out late this October, and we'll jump into that towards the end, towards the transitioning over from this. And on their Wi-Fi and cellular side of things, they made it much faster, and they added more bands. So now we have 450 megabytes per second, which is 50% faster than the iPhone 6S, and 3 times faster than the 6. And you obviously get more LTE bands, and it builds on top of the iPhone 6S with a crystal clear voice over LTE and Wi-Fi calls. You can answer calls on other apps like Facebook Messenger and more within the phone application on the iPhone. And iOS 10 and we will take a look at the tech specs. But before we get to the tech specs, I want to show you something at the bottom here. And if you can see, the first thing, it says iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are splash resistance and splash, water, and dust resistance. And of course, they tested it. They said they tested it in their laboratory and so on and so forth. And of course, they tell you do not attempt to charge your phone. Charge a wet iPhone. Refer to the guide. And it says, a big importance, if you buy the Apple Care, it says liquid damage not covered under warranty. So if it gets destroyed by water, liquids, it is not covered whatsoever. So they clearly stated at the bottom here in the smallest print that people are probably not going to read, to be honest with you. And the second thing underneath that, it says the high gloss finish of the jet black iPhone 7 is achieved through of course, the precision 9-step analyzation and polishing process, which is its surface is equally as hard as other anodized Apple products. However, it has a high shine. Its high shine may show fine microabrasions with hues. If you are concerned about this, we suggest you use one of many cases available to protect your iPhone. So people that want to use the high glossy jet black without a case, you have to get worried about that now, the microabrasions. And they clearly state it right under the water damage and liquid. So it's very nice how Apple likes to put the stuff that you're supposed to read at the bottom in the smallest print that people aren't really going to see, but I just want to point those two things out for you guys. So be careful with the liquid damage. If your phone gets destroyed by it, Apple's obviously going to take you to their website and say, oh, did you read this? And clearly in this small print, liquid damage is not covered under warranty. And if you scratch your iPhone 7 that has jet black, and you take it to the Apple store, and you want to get a refund or something like that, they'll say, well, did you read this at the bottom here that says that, they're obviously going to point to this. So I just wanted to make clear, get a case for the iPhone 7 if you have it in rose gold, silver, jet black, and even matte black. Just get a case for it. End the problem with that. Be careful with the phone with water, and like it says, do not charge a wet iPhone. So please be careful on those two things. And before you even buy this phone, go on the website and read this for yourself, guys. So if something does happen, Apple's not going to just say, oh, you should look at the website or something like that, and obviously ignore the problem. So now we're going to take a look at the tech specs. And we are loading the website right now. And the finishes, obviously, the standard colors now on both. And you have now 32, 128, 256. And if you guys really want the jet black, like I said earlier in the video, you have to get it in 128 or 256 only. It will not be available in 32. Size and dimensions are pretty much the same as the older models. It's a little bit lighter, but size and dimensions are pretty the same. Same screen resolutions like the older models, but with the P3 spec and the wider color gamut built in. And like I said, P3, dual domain pixels, just like on the iPhone 6s, carried over. And the rated IP67 and the A10 Fusion chip, which is now clocked at 2.23 gigahertz. So it's a fast chip, and on the iPhone 7, it has 2 gigabytes of low-power DDR4 and 3 gigabytes on the iPhone 7 Plus. And the cameras with all the features that come with it. Video recording features, the front camera, the Touch ID with the new home button. Here's the carriers that they work on, and the locations. the video calling and the audio calling, and of course the music playback and Siri. And the lightning connector at the bottom with the one built-in speaker here and the other built-in at the earpiece. That's another reason why the earpiece is bigger. And the ambient light sensor was supposed to go in there. I think the ambient light sensor is there, and at the top is the proximity sensor, and the camera's right there. And the batteries, the battery and power. So it has, the iPhone 7 has up to 2 hours longer than the iPhone 6s. So the talk time is up to 14 hours on 3G, standby up to 10. Internet use, 12 hours on 3G, 12 hours on LTE, 14 hours on Wi-Fi. Wireless video playback, up to 13 hours. Wireless audio playback, 40. And on the 7 Plus, you get up to 1 hour longer battery life than the 6S Plus. 6S Plus. So the talk time wireless, of course, is up to 21 hours on the 3G, up to 16 days of standby. Internet use, 13 hours on 3G, 13 hours on LTE, 15 hours on Wi-Fi, wireless video playback up to 14 hours, and wireless audio playback up to 60 hours, my bad. And the milliamp hours of the batteries, the 7 has a 1900, it's in that range of a 1900 milliamp hour battery. And the 7 Plus has the 2900 milliamp hour battery. Very nice that they were able to bump the batteries, even though they reduced them last year and then they increased them this year. Even though the not Touch ID, but the Taptic engine is a little bit bigger than last year, so it's kind of weird how Apple did their batteries. And of course, the built-in lithium-ion battery, which, as far as right now, as the iPhone 7 is concerned, has not exploded with any battery issues, caught on fire, or anything like that. There has been 2 reports of an iPhone 6 catching on fire. Oh, and my mistake on the iPhone 7. There has been one that caught on fire, but due to it being shipped, and people are saying that might be a fake, someone just burned it to get, make headlines about it. Don't be concerned about these phones catching on fire or anything. And Apple will look into the issues. But if you guys want any reassurance, I'm getting one. Mine is actually coming on the 20th of this month, so don't be worried about batteries exploding in transit or anything like that with these iPhones. And just be careful with your devices. And the phone ships with iOS 10, which brings in all the new compatibilities and app features. And of course, in the box has the new EarPods with lightning connector, nano SIM, and the 2 different models of the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And that's it for the iPhone. And here's the box and all the things that come with it. And at the bottom here, you can compare it to the older iPhones. And we will go now and take a look at the AirPods. Here are the new AirPods. And these AirPods are wireless earpods. And with this, Apple has designed the new W1 chip, which makes it way easier to pair these with any Apple product. And this is how they look when you put them in their ear, when you put them in your ears. A lot of people say they look like toothbrushes, pieces of a toothbrush, and things like that. But to be honest, it's EarPods that has a built-in battery, and it's wireless, so you can't really complain about it, but it's what it is. It's just whatever it is. And with that, you get Siri. So now, on the side of both EarPods, you can touch the side of it because it has a new touch sensor in it. Or you can say, "Hey Siri," and the 2 microphones at the bottom here would pick up your voice through using sound waves that radiate from your mouth out to the device, and it blocks background sound to hear what you're saying. And the W1 chip is battery efficient, and it's a smaller chip, and you get 5 hours of battery life on a single charge in both of these earpods. And this sensor here and here are optical sensors and motion accelerometers. And it basically says it works with the W1 chip to automatically control the audio and engage the microphone and give you the ability to use one or both AirPods. And they also enable AirPods to play sound as soon as they're in your ear. So basically, once you put them in the ear, the optical sensors would know that they're in. And if you got music playing, start playing, you pull them out, pauses the music. Nice feature. I say for myself, it's a nice feature. And it uses beamforming technology in the microphones at the bottom to hear your voice and block out sound in the background. And a 24-hour battery life, which that is kind of misleading with the 24-hour part a little bit, because the AirPods, both of them last up to 5 hours each on a single charge. You can plug them into the case and get a 15-minute quick charge for 3 hours of battery life. And if you have the case with you, you get more than 24 hours of battery life with charging case. And that's what they look like when you take them out the case and put them back in. And there's a nice LED in the center that lets you know when they're fully charged. And they have a little bit of a sound improvement to them, but they're obviously earpods. So they don't have too much of Beats technology built into them. And it has automatic switching. With this, you have to have a iOS 10 device and a Mac OS Sierra device, and if you have the Apple Watch, it has to have Watch OS 3, and it syncs it over the iCloud account. And the pricing of the AirPods are $159 in the US, and they don't come out till later this month, so that might be next week or the week after. So here they are. Like I said before, $159, and they're not available yet to buy. And this is what comes in the box. Obviously, your lightning cable, charging case, and the AirPods. And the compatibility, it works from the iPhone 5 up, and Apple Watch Series 1, Series 2, and the original Apple Watch. And iPod Touch models, only one, 6th generation, guys. And the Lightning with earpods are down here, and the new Solo 3s are down here. And now we're going to take a look at... Alright, now let's take a look at the Apple Watch Series 2. And I'm going to go right into the comparison between the Series 1 and Series 2, because the differences between the both are subtle, and from the original Apple Watch that was debuted in 2015 is a subtle upgrade from that too. So, just give you the basic rundown. The Series 1 carries over the same features as the original. The only new thing with it is the dual-core processor, which is the S1P, which is a substantial upgrade from the original in terms of speed and performance. The Series 2, you get a water resistance feature up to 50 meters. You can swim in the ocean and in chlorine water, fresh water, and tap water. And if you use it in the ocean or in chlorine, please rinse your watch off so that no sediments from those chemicals can damage the watch. And with that, you can turn the digital crown on the Series 2 and it will play a tone when you're done working out in the water that will shoot water out of the speaker so water can leave the device, which is very cool. And Series 2 also has the S2 chip, which is dual core, and it has a 2 times brighter display, which is at 1000 nits, best viewing angles outside. And the casing of the Series 2 is a little bit thicker, which has a little bit bigger battery, but not a massive improvement over the original Apple Watch from last year. And the pricings for Series 1 to Series 2 starts from $269 on the Series 1. Then if you want to jump into the newest Apple Watch, in the Series 2 edition, you go from $369 all the way up to $1,249 on the Apple Watch Edition. And speaking about the edition comes in a white ceramic casing, and it's only available in that color, in that ceramic casing. There's no more $10,000 $17,000 Apple Watch, which, by the way, that was ridiculous for them to make because nobody really bought it to begin with, and it got phased out in a year. So good thing Apple did this instead. It's $9,000 cheaper than the last year's editions. Very good they did it like this. And what do you get with the Series 1 and Series 2? Well, unfortunately on the Series 1 you only get an aluminum case with a sport band, and that's it in terms of what you get. On the Series 2 you get a aluminum casing with a sport band or a woven nylon band, and a stainless steel casing with a sport band or a stainless steel band or leather band. And the aluminum casing on the Apple Watch Nike Edition, which, by the way, is releasing at the end of this month. And on the Hermes, you get the stainless steel with the Hermes case with a band, and a special Hermes orange sport band. On the ceramic, you just get a white sport band and a magnetic charging dock included with the purchase. And what happened to the series like the Sport Edition, the regular Watch Edition, and all of that? Well, Apple simplified it, so when you buy an Apple Watch, you can get it in the aluminum casing, which is basically a sport, or the stainless steel, which is the fancier model. But with the new Nike Plus Edition, you get your sport watch that has customized watch faces, customized bands that come with it, and it's just awesome. That watch, per se, is one of my favorite ones I might want to get. As in terms of processors, Series 1 comes with the SP1, which is only a dual-core chip, and that's about it. S2, you get the same dual-core performance, but you get a built-in GPS. And the features between the two, Series 1, no GPS, Series 2, GPS. Series 1 carries the same original splash resistance debuted on the original watch of last year. Series 2 takes that up a notch with a water resistance up to 50 meters. And on both Series 1 and Series 2, looking at the Wi-Fi all the way down to the ambient light sensor, has the same exact technology as the original Apple Watch. So barely any improvement in that department. On the display, Series 1 carries the same Apple Watch display that was debuted on the original, and that's just a basic OLED Retina display with 450 nits. Series 2 takes that up a notch with a second-gen OLED with 2 times brighter display, better viewing angles, edge-to-edge glass, and a 1000 nits color gamut. And in terms of glass, Series 1 only comes with the Ion X glass. Series 2, depending on if you get stainless steel or the aluminum casing, you would get sapphire on stainless steel and ceramic, Ion X on aluminum. And the same pixels on both models. In terms of display pixels, battery on both is up to 18 hours on both, even though the Series 2 has a little bit thicker battery. And on the Series 1, if you do buy that, you will not be getting the USB power adapter, which you would get on the Series 2. In terms of software on the Series 1 and Series 2, there's not really a difference, except the original Apple Watch and Series 1 do not get the feature, of course, the swimming features in the workout apps. Only Series 2 gets that. And basically, this is just a little upgrade on what Apple released last year. Of course, I will be getting a Series 2 watch and be using that for a year and a half until they make the Series 3. And just want to sum up the keynote in whole. We've seen a brand new iPhone, of course, like every year, that ditches the headphone jack. Now you get water resistance in that. You get a dual speaker, new colors, faster chips, which is fast on the market. You get the telephoto lens on the Plus model, new storage options from 32 to 256, And Apple, of course, released the iOS 10, macOS Sierra, and watchOS 3, and the Apple Watches. So, just want to say thank you guys for watching this video, and stay tuned for my next video, which I will be talking about what might be coming up in the new MacBooks, and stay tuned for on the 27th of this week coming up, because Apple's going to make their new event about the new Macs that they're going to release. Stay tuned for more videos like that. Like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, of course, the other button works out good too. Get subscribed to this channel for more videos like this. And subscribe. Add me on Twitter. Add me as a follower on Twitter. And check out my website. And if you're on Google Plus, add me there too. And I am working on another channel. It's called Computer Builds and Upgrades. And that will be getting live pretty soon. So please go subscribe to that, even though there's nothing on there yet.